Hello and good evening. Welcome back to the Competitive Speed Series. My name is Rosbeth and I'll be once again your commentator for the final race of this season here on PC. Not only is it the final race of this particular series for PC, it's also the final race of the entire season. We've had Tier 2 in the PlayStation division, we have had Tier 1 yesterday, and tonight we have the last race here in Abu Dhabi for the PC. There is still a technical possibility that OP can lose the title tonight. They need to score 5 points, to be precise, in order to claim that title. We were talking about it last week, that they would actually have that title in their hands already. It wasn't the case. Some math has been done, so to say. And here we are, the title still officially undecided, although it's very unlikely that things will change after tonight. Because if, as I said, they were to lose the title, I've been told that they both need DNF, and tonight we have Daniel Gottschalk and Tony Richer. Tony Richer, of course, coming over from ABS to join Team OP. And we all know that they are fairly quick drivers, unlikely to not finish this race. And the only title contenders they have left is the team of WOR. World Online Racing with Janesh Dovjan and Justin Aerts. Both very quick as well, but they will have to score a 1-2 while OP doesn't finish at all in order to claim that elusive title. So it's going to be a challenge and a half. And it's going to be interesting. There's 19 drivers tonight, as ERT is missing one driver. They only have Timo Geurts in tonight. Also, hi Nathan, good to see you at the stream. So yeah, they will be one driver short. Speaking of those standings, let's have a little look at how things are looking at the moment. As you can see, OP with a healthy lead, 352 points, WR 289, NLR in third, 270, GRS in fourth with 245. I'd say the battle for second place is far more interesting at the moment in terms of points than the fight for the title. So WR, NLR and even GRS are still in that fight for second position, while WR also can potentially keep an eye out on Team OP. But they'll need sort of a miracle in order to get that position there at the top of the field. Then in fifth place we find Team ABS, 185 points at the moment. Lots of things I believe have happened in the past week. They have placed two brand new drivers in their cars, Dmitry Minich, and I also believe we should be seeing, hopefully soon, the second driver joining, Nico Viani. Two names we haven't seen this season. They've been put in those cars only this week, as everybody else apparently is now gone. I'm not entirely sure what's going on within ABS, but we'll see if those drivers are up to par. Currently only Dimitri is in. We're still waiting for Nico to join the second Ferrari. So then, the rest of the standings, FFC in 6th place. They still have a technical chance to overtake ABS for P5. They tonight do have Aaron Raminges and a new name of Joseba Solis in the Mercedes cars. Maybe you remember last week where we had Aaron Raminges mysteriously disappearing from the map. Turns out he crashed in the pit lane, which caused simply his car to disappear from the map and no yellow flags or safety cars coming out. It's a shame because he was doing exceptionally well in 5th place. That was where he was driving around. It's where he qualified as well, I believe, from the top of my head. So it is looking right there, as if he had some terrible luck there. Let's hope he can come back once again tonight in the final race. Abu Dhabi, a whole different beast compared to last week in Japan, of course. You can hear probably the timer counting down. We're still missing the second ABS driver. He's actually asking for an invite at the moment, so let's hope he'll be able to join once the qualifying has properly started. If you're wondering, Frost, you're sounding a little bit different. How come? I've been suffering from a very nasty cough the entire week, pretty much since Tuesday, and it's been pretty bad. I'm currently doing all I can to hold all of those coughs in the hope that the stream will not be ruined by them. But do forgive me if it happens through this race, through this final event. It's been a rough week for me. Yet here I am, ready to commentate you guys through the final race of the season. So let's go. As usual, CSS sponsored by Sim Racing Center, the place to go for your setups, even some coaching in terms of engineering, etc. So, Abu Dhabi. As I said, a different beast compared to Japan. 2 long straights, 2 overtaking opportunities, it's fair to say. If you're lucky, you could try it at the end of the main straight in turn 1. But I'd say that is easier said than done. So let's see who will be able to make the most of this race. We see one of the Aston Martins of Team GS already running out of the pit lane there. It's Guti Balint, the first car to set to the track. Then followed suit is one of the OP cars. Let's see, that's actually Daniel Gottschalk. We've seen quite a few appearances of him throughout the season. A very consistent driver so far, very quick as well. But to be fair, Team OP has been very quick throughout the entire season. They had to climb their way from, what was it, 5th position at the start to a healthy lead by the end, which is of course right now. Daniel Gottschalk on his way on the back straight after turn 5, a very famous turn. You probably know why. We're still waiting for the second ABS driver to join in. We also know that both ABS drivers have a qualifying ban. They'll also both be getting some time penalties, I believe, at the end of this race. Let me have a quick look at those penalty points. Sorry about that. Qualifying ban for NLR as well, and GS also have to serve a qualifying ban and a 3-second time penalty to be served by ERT. Of course, ERT has got 1 driver, so Timo Geerts has got no choice but to take that penalty. Yes, Tony's debut for Team OP. Of course, we've seen him driving around in the Ferrari of ABS earlier this season. Now, however, we find him in the colors of dark blue. Let's see. I believe Guti Balint has gone back in for some strange reason. Probably because he wants to serve the qualifying ban. We also see Carlson. In case you're wondering, where is ETE? Well, they have switched names for this final race. We now know them as Team ATX. Daniel Gottschalk then, the first driver to actually start a hot lap. He's very much on the edge of the track already as he heads into turn 1. Pretty much for a banker lap especially. It's pretty tight to see them go on the limits this early already. His teammate Tony Richer looks like he's straight ahead, and it appears as they are working together once again. Team OP with the teamwork this season, this time. Tony towing Daniel across the straight. Of course, the Williams is moving out of the way. He doesn't want to give a tow whatsoever. I think that's Luke Mills who has moved out of the way. Yep, there you go. Daniel Gottschalk now led past by his teammate. And on the second straight, he has to do all of it on his own. Of course, the throttle flat down isn't very difficult. But then comes the braking zone into turn 9. A very nice left-hander indeed. Obviously, purple middle sector for him there. Let's see, soon Tom will be coming along as well. He's already invalidated, unfortunately. He'll have to try again later. He had some comings together last week with Timo Geerts, if you remember that. The FIA has done some investigation on that, handed out penalties left and right. Let's see where Daniel will put his car. Obviously, it's going to be P1 for the time being, 21.542. Many other drivers are now on their way. Whoa, Justin Aerts nearly losing the car, coming out of turn 5. Very, very wobbly indeed. Thankfully, he didn't head straight for the wall. Looks like he'll be safe for the time being. But he already sees Daniel's time being pretty quick, as we have one of the TTM drivers, the team that only joined a last race in Japan. Scored 14 points there. René Klein, a new name for the team, coming in with a 21.7. Let's see then, Gabriel Quintino just behind Justin Aerts at the moment, 53.0 for Justin. Fortunately, we cannot see it from Gabriel, but it should be somewhat similar there. We have a bit of a yellow flag situation in the chicane. That's one of the OP drivers going a bit slower. Let's see where these drivers will be putting themselves. We see Aaron Raminguez once again being pretty quick tonight. Second place with a 21.6. Justin Ards only 22.4 as Gabriel Quintino comes across the line, goes quite a lot quicker than that. 21.6 as well, 5 milliseconds slower than Aaron Dominguez. Timo Geurts 22.2. Let's see how Tony Richer is doing on his debut for Team OP. 52.2 through the middle sector, that's 8 tenths quicker than Justin was. That's a big difference. Across the line, 21.443, there you go, new fastest time, and OP locking out the front row again. They did so in Japan last week as well, of course. Once again showing their quickness and their potential to fully claim the title tonight. Baumatillo then, the second TTM driver, is missing his prefix apparently. Usually that would result in a penalty. I'm not entirely sure how penalty points will work at the last race, whether they carry them on to the next season or not. Baumatillo, 17.1 through the first sector. Both DRS drivers already have put in their lap times as well. 10th and 11th at the moment. Joseba Solis with a 22.8 being the slowest of those who have set a lap time so far. Nico Viani is in, fortunately. However, he cannot set a lap time tonight as he has to serve the qualifying ban alongside his teammates. So once again, ABS will be starting from the back. They've done so last week as well. So things have been going downhill pretty rapidly for the team. They had a brilliant middle stint in the season. Pretty bad start. Better middle and a pretty poor end as well. So Team ABS, very unfortunately, just not having the best time this season round. Baumatillo currently the only driver still on a proper hot lap. Let's see where he's gonna put himself. His teammate currently in P6. Which is fairly decent, especially compared to the top time. There you go, Baumatillo right behind his teammate in 7th place, which is very nice. I'd say that Ivan and Tom, of course, will have to serve their qualifying bans as well, so we will not see them exit the pit lane anytime soon. This is Luke Mills. Looks like he's gone on his way once more. His battery light is not flashing. So I'd say he's currently putting in another attempt. A half a tenth quicker through the first sector. Whoa! Had a bit of a moment there going into the corner. Kretylum, his teammate, is also going for a second run on the same tires. Half a tenth quicker as well, but this time through the middle sector. So they are equally as quick at the moment. They're also very much together on the grid in row 6. Let's see how quick Luke Mills will be going through the middle one. Half a tenth quicker for Kretylum. 2 tenths quicker for Luke. That should at least put him up to P10. If he can go a bit quicker than that, he might even beat Timo to it to go for 9th fastest. Kretylum across the line gets very close to their teammate. 22.569, but Luke is currently going a bit better than that. There we go. Final turn. Across the line, it's going to be a 22.1. So there we go. In P9, almost 4 tenths quicker than his previous attempt, and more impressively on the same tires. René Klein. I know, but in English I should pronounce it as clean. But that's not how you pronounce it in German or Dutch. So I'll pronounce it the way that I'm used to. Klein is actually a Dutch word. As well as a German, apparently. Currently 6th fastest. We see Carlson chatting in the Twitch chat. He's named Axe. Oh, no, sorry, that's actually his teammate. Never mind. Carlson is serving the qualifying ban, of course. Apologies. Nick Bonventre is actually Axe, I believe, from the top of my head. We've seen it before in Qatar, where he was very quick, brought home some valuable points for Team ETE. Something they needed by that point in the season. Currently sitting 9th in the standings. Let's see where Rene will be putting his car. Got a WR car right over there, thankfully out of the way. Across the final corner. Then over the line. It is a nice improvement indeed, and he gets very close to provisional pole. Third fastest, Team TTE, is looking quite good indeed. Daniel Gottschalk at the moment, 86 milliseconds quicker through the middle sector. He's on his way to potentially overtake his teammate for provisional pole. Depending entirely on how he'll be doing in the final sector. Once again, he's looking very stable in his car. What can he do as he comes across the line? Aaron Ramirez has gone a bit faster there. But Daniel Gottschalk, there we go. Almost 4/100ths of a second quicker than his teammate Tony Richet. Tom 24. Across the line, 8th fastest. Guti Balint is the man serving the qualifying ban, of course. 21.9. His main rival, Timo Geurts, is currently hanging around in P11, having invalidated this attempt here. Not sure if this is what was actually an attempt. We haven't watched this man yet. Janesh Dovjan, half a tenth quicker through the middle sector. It's not much of an improvement, as Gabriel Quintino actually goes quickest overall. That's a good news for Team NLR, as they have one driver sitting on the sidelines. Gabriel is now fastest. Ooh, Janesh looking a bit unstable there, but it is an improvement in time. However, not in position. Stays 6th fastest, now with a 21.6. Nick Bovante going 3rd fastest. There we go. That's more like it. That's how we remember him from Qatar. Going back though to Justin Arts, who is currently not on an attempt, I believe. Sitting in P9 at the moment. Timo not going fast at the moment either. Let's see if we can find a driver who's going for a hot lap at the moment. Baumatio, oh there we go, Tony Richet is going quickest overall now, as Baumatio has invalidated his attempt. Once again, an OP driver at the front of the field. His teammate currently sitting in 3rd, as Gabriel Quintino splits the OP drivers. Sitting in between them with a 21.370. So we're approaching the final part of qualifying. Do let me know in the chat who you think will be taking the crown. The final pole position of this year, of this season and this division. Sounds very melodramatic, but it's true. This year only lasts 8 more days after all. Corthylum at the moment sitting in last place of the qualifiers, but not last on the grid. With 5 qualifying bans, they'll still start in 14th. That's the worst position you can get in qualifying tonight. Unfortunately, due to the qualifying bans for Team ABS, we do not know yet what the pace is for Dmitry Minic and Nico Viani. I would like to see them try go fastest, or at least attempt to put in a decent lap time. Of course, they've got quite a reputation to uphold, as Team ABS, especially in qualifying, has been really quick. They just haven't had the luck in the race for most of the season. We'll find out, though, in about 6 or 7 minutes when the race actually starts. We haven't seen a penalty yet, so that means no lobby restart as of yet, which would be good news for me as well. So I'm not sure if my voice will hold out if we get many delays. Joseba Solis at the moment, the first to come out for his final attempt. I believe Corthylum is their final attempt as well, through the chicane. You'll have to find quite a bit of time in order to make up some positions. A 22.5 is quite far away from any top 10 time. 6/10 at least. 3/10 to the middle sector, that's quite promising. There will be a restart of the qualifying. Very well then. Park for me apparently still being on. It should be off. So people can switch between qualifying setups and race setups without any issue. Let's hope they'll all rejoin quickly then. Berthylum across the line, they'll be heading up to which position then? One position quicker, a 22.3. And with less than 3 minutes remaining, that's their final attempt over. So then, we're going to watch those who are all slowly flooding out of the pit lane. Joseba Solis on his debut, currently the slowest of the qualifiers. Where will he put himself on his final attempt? His teammate Aaron Raminguez, once again, having a good day. Currently sitting 5th and not that far away from pole position. Almost 2.5 tenths. So there is a potential good result here for Team FFC, and they could use that because their main rivals are ABS at the moment. They are both serving qualifying bans. They outscore them by, I believe, 30-ish points. They can still take P5. There's no prizes for P5, but in terms of position, it's always better to end up higher. So let's see where they'll be able to put themselves. And Raminguez has started his final attempt, as has Joseba Solis. However, it looks like Joseba has abandoned this attempt to potentially give his teammate a tow. I believe that's actually what is going to happen. We see Aaron Raminguez approaching, and Joseba Solis is indeed towing him along. So this first attempt for Joseba was to sacrifice himself for his teammate. And if he's quick, he might be able to set a nice hot lap himself. But Aaron Raminguez getting the tow he requires to potentially go for the front row, or even better than that. Let's see how he does through the middle sector, because that's what is going to count. 1.5 tenths quicker, it's not yet enough, but it is definitely promising. Daniel Gottschalk has started his hot lap as well. I believe he's been towed by Tony Richet too. And I feel like Joseba Solis is going to get a tow from Aaron, because he's staying somewhat close to his teammate, but he's got a fast car approaching from behind. Daniel Gottschalk. Aaron Raminguez, let's see. Across the line, well, going a bit too wide there, but it's not pole position, it is P3. Daniel Gottschalk then, across the line, it is going to be fastest of the lot. P1 for now, with a 21.107. Gabriel Quintino then, one of the potential contenders, half a tenth slower through the first sector. There's some time to make up then through the middle one. He's currently about just over 2.5 tenths slower than provisional pole at the moment, as Daniel Gottschalk has put in an absolute flyer. It's like going through the chicane. Caused a tiny bit of trouble for Gabriel. I wonder if that's hampered his qualifying even more there in his final attempt. Now Tony Richet is getting a tow from Daniel, as you can see on the minimap. Yes, he's lost some more time through the middle sector. You'll need a miracle through the final one then. Timo Gertz finishing in 11th at best. Berthylum in 13th. Joseba Solis has been towed along by his teammate. Might potentially beat Berthylum to the line. Oh, invalidation for Gabriel Quintino. That's the worst way to end your qualifying. René Klein across the line. That rhymes. In P6, Janesh Dovjan in 7th. And Justin Arts, having invalidated his last attempt, goes back in the pit lane. This is not the result that Team WR needs to potentially beat Team OP. Right now, Team OP is occupying the front row. Let's see where Tony Richet is gonna go. Doesn't really matter whether he finishes on pole or not. They've got the front row anyways. Nick cannot improve. Whoa, a bit of a twitchy moment there. He does improve his lap time, but not his position. Probably thanks to the slide at the end of the lap. But it doesn't matter for the team. They've got their front row lockout. It's all they need to cling in the title. And they've already gained a point. Actually 2 points, I believe, for pole position. Now they only need 3. Looks like, according to the poll, NLR will win tonight. Their best bet right now is Gabriel Quintino, starting from 3rd position. But with OP locking out the front row, might be a tough challenge for them. Especially since Gabriel will be alone. Ivan will be starting from last. Final results then for qualifying. Daniel Gottschalk takes pole position from his teammate Tony Richet in second position. Only 2 100 separating both of them. Gabriel Quintino a bit further back in third position. Aaron Dominguez well done in P4. Nick Bourventre in P5. René Klein in P6. Janesh Dovjan starting from 7th. Baumatio in P8. Decent results for Team TTM as well, by the way. They had a lot more trouble with Japan. Justin Arts in P9. Luke Mills in P10. Tom24 then starting from 11th. Timo in P12. Joseba Solis beating Carthagen to P13, which means Carthagen will start from 14th. Carlson in P15, Dmitry Minic in P16, Guti Balint 17th, Nico Viani in P18, and Ivan Santamaria starting in last. Right, while the lobby is going to restart, I will be away for a little bit and I'll be back with you once the race fully commences. So, I'll see you in a moment. I probably should have showed what happened during the moment that all drivers had to retire. It was quite hilarious. Anyway, thankfully the lobby hasn't been restarted. Instead, everybody had to retire from this race, so they can simply go again. All they need to do right now is set up the correct grid order, of course, with Team OP locking out the front row, as you all know, and Gabriel Quintino starting in third, with Aaron Dominguez in P4 tonight. So that is bound to be an interesting race nonetheless. We saw the prediction in the chat a few minutes ago with people thinking NLR will be taking the win tonight. But as I said, it's going to be a tough challenge. But never say never. It's not impossible for any other driver than an OP driver to win the race. I think OP would need a point deduction too for us to win. It would definitely come in handy. That's well, all I can say. But they will have to rack up a lot of penalty points. An interesting fact is that you will be given a 20 points deduction if you get 18 penalty points. Right now only ABS has been able to get that far, unfortunately, due to circumstances, which is also one of the reasons why they are now suddenly so far behind. The closest team to those 18 penalty points at the moment is definitely not OP. No, they're 10 points away from getting that far. The prize, however, for the least penalty points throughout the entire season, you would say, is Team TTN. They have 1 penalty point. Of course, they've only had 2 races, so that wouldn't be fair. But the prize for the least penalty points would be going to Team ETE/ATX with only 5. And that means they never actually had to serve a qualifying ban or a race ban or whatever during the entire season, which is commendable, of course. Coming in second place and a tie is Team EOT and WR. They both have 6 penalty points, with EOT still having to serve a 3-second time penalty. Probably something due to an FIA decision, I guess. Quick math thanks to Carson. Interesting. Of course, WR needs a 1-2 fastest lap to win. That is correct. And well spotted, actually, GRS has got no penalty points. That is even more impressive. The reason I missed it is because they are missing from the penalty points list. And it makes sense because they don't even have a penalty point. So GRS for the cleanest team this year with no penalty points whatsoever. That is well done to the team. Of course, I'd also say they are the most consistent team in terms of points and drivers, since Luke Mills and Kurthilum have both been driving the most races for the team, and together as well. So that is very commendable indeed from both of them. A job well done. Of course, Luke, I believe, at one point in the season had left the team and joined ABS from the top of my head. He never actually raced for the team though, and quickly rejoined the GRS 1 race later. Yeah, plenty of things have happened. Many interesting races have happened as well. A lot of drama too. And I believe the grid is actually formed already. I quite like this fast way of lobby restarting. Of course, I hope the drivers will not forget to get their proper setups ready. Their race setups, that is. And then we can talk strategy, which is of course going to be either hard to medium or medium to hard. We've seen throughout the season that mostly hard to medium has worked quite well. So that is probably the way to go. But you never really know. Safety cars can change a lot of things. Of course, we hope to see some interesting stuff happen tonight. The race obviously is going to be very dry, very warm and very sunny. Indeed, or actually very... well, not really sunny, isn't it? Because it's going to be dark. It's going to be very... well, it's going to be clear. Let's put it at, keep it at that. Right, we're officially headed towards the track right now with 19 drivers. ERT is missing their second driver, as said before. Let me know in the chat who you think will win the race. I know the poll said NLR, but only 3 people voted on the poll or something like that. So, yeah. Let me know who you think will take the final win of this season, this year, this division. Just waiting for Tom24 to get ready indeed. Of course, all the soft tires will have been reset. All are fully fresh again. Not sure how viable a soft tire strategy will be. We saw 2 brave souls last week in Japan trying it out. ERT or GRS will win. An interesting prediction by Lucas. It would definitely be impressive if they were to do so, especially since Timo is alone. And Team GRS finds themselves somewhere in the middle pack. Middle to low pack, but we all know that they usually climb a lot of positions during the race. But not to the top step just yet. Unless my memory serves me poorly. Right, we're about to get underway. No formation lap, 29 laps to go this year for CSS. Tony Richet to make contact with someone, according to Cormac. Right, let's see if that is going to happen or not. It is his debut for this team. So that would be a pretty miserable debut if he makes contact with anyone. Especially his teammate, as they're starting from the front row, and I believe Daniel's the only car ahead of him. Actually, I'm sure it is. Everybody should be having their setup ready pretty much by now, considering how much fuel should be in the car, which tire to start on, which lap to pit. And then we'll be on our way. Let's see if OP can keep the 1-2 in turn 1, depending on how good their starts will be. OP drivers taking each other out on lap 23. If that is going to be true, I'll be very impressed by your telepathic skills or your future prediction skills. There we go, 5 lights, and we're officially on our way for the final race this season. Daniel Gottschalk leading his teammate Tony Richet into turn 1. They're already going side by side. Tony Richet has to stay behind for the time being. Gabriel Quintino fighting with Amram Mingus, the man who disappeared last race from the map, abducted by aliens, is now fighting for a potential podium position. Nick Bonvandre is still slotting in right behind both of them as they now go into turn 5. We see some cars almost going 3 wide through the corner as René Klein is getting attacked by both WOR cars. We see many positions being switched around as we're going to have a quick look at those tires. Only one driver starting on the mediums actually, which I haven't yet seen before this season. As usually we see at least 2 drivers starting on those mediums. Look at that, Jonesh Dojan going for a dive bomb on René Klein and actually nearly taking the position, but not fully yet, as René Klein is getting a chance to come back, depending on how well this tow will be. Everybody else already falling behind a little bit. His teammate Baumatillo is now in 8th position. René Klein trying to fight back, but Jonesh Dojan already on the offensive on the next car. Nick Bonvandre side by side in turn 9. So far, this race has already been pretty exciting. We haven't even completed the first lap. Whoa, Nick is getting very close to Gabriel Quintino. Gabriel, of course, not having the race start he needed, but WR is on their way for greatness potentially, but Justin Arts has lost positions. We see several other drivers switching around left, right, and center. Luke Mills now at 14th and Kruthidem in last. Justin Arts is going in. There's some damage probably then to the front wing, which is probably the potential final nail to WR's coffin for the title hopes, and also puts them in the back foot in fight for 2nd place. Of course, against GRS, mostly an NLR as well, or actually NLR more than GRS. NLR finding themselves in 4th and 15th right now. They'll need more than that to claim 2nd place from WR. Right now, Jonesh Dovjan in 6th place, Gabriel in 4th. Lap 1 completed without any big incidents, apart from apparently Justin's front wing being damaged. We see Timo Geurts going on the offensive against Joseba Solis. Not able to make the move yet. We see Ivan Santamaria, a very quick driver, getting attacked now by Guti Balint, losing his position. Kruthidem fighting back as well. And OP keeping that 1st and 2nd position in firm hands, with Aaron still trying to give chase. The game didn't change Justin's wing. Oh, dearie me. Sounds like Deep WR is cursed already. Never set your wing change to auto, especially if the damage is light, because the game might decide it's not severe enough to change it. Tony Richer with the fastest lap, apparently quicker than his teammate. I wonder if they'll be doing a swap. Joseba Solis on those medium tires, now with the fastest lap, which isn't surprising, of course, since those mediums will be quicker for now. He's currently sitting in 11th position. Guti beating Silly, who is actually also the first driver to get a penalty tonight. Guti is barely holding on to the car ahead with DRS. DRS has been enabled, of course, and he will just barely have it. In fact, I believe all cars will have DRS. Apart from Justin, of course, who has to change the wing again. No, Kathina won't have DRS either, as he's now overtaken by Carlson for P17. What will Team OP do? Will Tony Richer go past? Yes, he will. And Ramirez is getting closer and closer as well. It's not close enough though, but he's doing really well to keep up with both OP cars. Baumatio with Tom 24 side by side. Will this go well? This is not usually a place where you'd overtake, but Tom has decided it is the place to overtake, and Baumatio probably didn't see that one coming. A nice move by the Aston Martin indeed, as he moves up into 8th position. Meanwhile, look at Jernej Dovjan. He's very close to Nick Bonventre for 5th position. But of course, Nick still having that DRS and getting a tow from the Haas ahead. I wonder how long it's going to take for Jernej to get past. I think it's quite clear that he's quicker at this moment. We also see Aaron getting very close now to both OP cars. They are having to use all of their skills to make sure Aaron stays behind. Aaron, who's been making a big jump in terms of pace through the last few races, now finds himself on a podium position and still fighting for the win too. With Gabriel being far behind at the moment, as we see Luke Mills and Nico Viani fighting for 13th position a bit further back. But this is the chance for Aaron Ramirez. He's, no, it's not close enough still. Could have had a go there. Just a bit too far behind. Nick Bonventre still hanging on 5th position. One of the ABS drivers in the meanwhile finds themselves well within the top 10. Now overtaken Baumatio for 9th position. Looks like they are living up to the reputation of quick ABS drivers. Dmitry Minic doing very well for the team indeed. Nico Viani a bit further back, currently in 13th place, fighting Timo for 12th at the moment and edging ever closer, getting a good exit apparently out of the final corner, but not able to place an attack in turn 1, which would have been brave indeed. Lap 5 at the moment, and Team OP is still leading, well, I wouldn't say nice and easy, as they definitely have a fierce fighter behind with Aaron Ramirez. Nico Viani has already gone for Thibaut Geurts' position, going up to P12. Not sure if Timo is going to give in this easily though. He gets a tow on the straight. He has a look, but he doesn't have a go. But it's very close between these two drivers indeed. Luke Mills falling even further behind. Their dream of 2nd position is also falling further behind right now. It's not going too great. And there we go then. Nick Bonventre in the meanwhile, out of nowhere, suddenly takes 4th position from Gabriel Quintino. A bold move indeed by the ATX driver. Finding himself very close to the podium positions once more, after having a brilliant outing in Qatar. This is the driver the team needed throughout the entire season, I'd say. They've had a tough season this year. Let's see if they can come back stronger next season, which I believe should be taking place somewhere by late January, early February. Because of course there should still be qualifying nights coming up first and foremost. I've already seen many teams signing up. Plenty of familiar names in terms of teams as well. And look at this, Aaron Ramirez now very, very close to Daniel Gottschalk. Is he going to attack and potentially screw up OP's formation of 1-2? If he gets a good exit here, it could really be the moment for him. But it looks like it's not a great exit. Or actually it is. It's 3.5 tenths. It's not going to be enough. And he's not going to be able to place the attack in this corner. Baumatillo, it looks like there's a big fight going on here for 10th position between Nico Viani, Baumatillo and Joseba Solis. We saw him in 10th position for a few moments, falling back down to P12 after being overtaken by both Baumatillo and Nico Viani. Look at that, then Ivan Santamaria going for a move in turn 12. Now that is a point, once again, where Tom did the same thing on Baumatillo, and now Ivan Santamaria finds himself in 13th. We know this man's got pace. However, he's somewhat struggling to make his way up the field. Now up in 13th, an extra point there for Team NLR. They need it to fight WR for second. They are only 19 points behind the team in orange. Right now, Janesh is the only driver within the points for Team WR. I just wish I knew from the top of my head how many points each position would score. Speaking of points, looks like Janesh is starting to catch the struggling Gabriel Quintino. He has already been overtaken by the ATX car, and now looks like he's in trouble again as Janesh is edging ever closer. Ivan Santamaria in the meanwhile on the first straight fighting with Joseba Solis. Through the chicane, going through, nice and easy does it, up to P12, as we see the OP cars switching positions once more. There's a lot of fights going on the track at the moment. Apologies if we miss out by quite a few ones. It's a bit tricky to keep up at the moment. There also appears to be some stuttering going on at some cars. I'm not really entirely sure where that's coming from. Probably some more game shenanigans. Nico Viani finds himself in the top 10 as well now. Both ABS drivers are doing quite nicely tonight. They're trying to save whatever can be saved for the team, with FFC needing to outscore them by 30-ish points, and Aaron being the only driver scoring big points tonight. It's going to be a challenge and a half to beat ABS to 5th place now. NLR might have the chance here to take 2nd place for WR, and I think Janesh knows it. He has to push. Nick Bonventre in the meanwhile. He sees Aaron Raminguez behind both OP cars, and he wants to attack him for 3rd place. Question is, when is this going to happen? Tom 24 in the meanwhile overtaken by Dmitry Menic. As once again the cars of OP switch positions, and there we go, Nick Bonventre in turn 9, overtaking Aaron Raminguez. Oh, never mind, Aaron Raminguez is fighting back on the inside of the corner, but he has to yield to the man in the Red Bull, as Nick Bonventre now goes up to 3rd position, and now he sees the cars of the sister team AlphaTauri ahead. But Aaron is not giving up. They are very close together. I think there's some desync going on as they're almost inside one another. At least from our point of view. Aaron Raminguez finds himself once again outside the the podium positions. It's not something he wants to see. In the meanwhile, Janesh is still not gone past Gabriel Quintino and go up into 5th place, but he's still very, very close behind. There you go. Oh, on the inside. Or is there some contact there then between himself and the Mercedes car ahead? As he broke quite late. And now he has to defend. Or at least he does go defensive. Trying to break the toe from Gabriel Quintino. And A. Klein is also closing in. And he's braking late again to connect to the group ahead. And now he's fighting for a potential podium. Very close to Aaron Raminguez. He's found the pace now that he's gone past Gabriel Quintino. And he's now just harassing Aaron Raminguez for that place. In the meanwhile, Dmitry Minic moving up another position at the cost of Rene Klein's position there, going up into P7. He started from the back. He's doing a great job on his debut for the team. Very, very impressive indeed. 7th place it is. We find ourselves with 3 different groups at the moment. It's the front of the field all the way down to 9th place. Then it's Nico Viani leading 2 other cars. Luke Mills leading 3 cars at the moment in 13th. And then there's 3 lonely cars with Carlson, who's falling behind rapidly. With Thylum, who had to pit as well. And Justin Aerts at the back of the field entirely, hoping for a safety car out there. It looks like Nick is not able to keep up with the top 2. Despite now being in the podium positions, what Aaron Dominguez could do, Nick can't do apparently. And now OP can work together to shake them off entirely. There you go, Janesh Dovzhan in the chicane side by side. Another daring move by the WR driver, putting himself up in 4th position now. Getting even closer to that podium position. And look in the back, it's the Ferrari of Dmitry Minic. Still within contention, Gabriel Quintino now fighting with Aaron Dominguez for 5th position. Gabriel, who we saw losing a bit of pace a few laps ago, now we see Aaron Dominguez losing that pace. Struggling a bit much. Maybe he's asked too much of the tires in the first few laps, trying to keep up with Team OP. Nick has closed the gap again, within 1 second once more. Who is going to place the next attack here within the top 9? I'd say it's still anybody's game for the win. It really depends on how those pit stops will go. Last week we saw Team OP being screwed by being forced to double stack under safety car conditions, which one of the 2 drivers saw. It cost them 2nd place, falling down to P7, and not being able to claim that 1-2 that the team wanted to claim to seal the title. Gabriel Contino with a dive ball when Aaron Dominguez in the chicane. Aaron giving him plenty of room and respect, but staying ahead right now. Getting a poor exit though, very poor exit. Gabriel Contino is already side by side, but it looks like Aaron has got some extra speed on the straights, forcing Gabriel Contino to go in the slipstream. It has to go on the inside right now. This is going to be enough though to take the position once and for all, or at least for the time being. I can't say yes or no yet. Aaron Dominguez is fighting back on the inside. And he stays ahead. A strong defensive move from him. Hard and fair racing, I'd say. And Gabriel has to yield. And meanwhile, Dimitri is just patiently waiting behind. Hoping for them to come together, probably. Of course, something that we are not hoping, of course. Eusebio Solis on his medium tires, the first to go in for a proper and official pit stop there. And Luke Mills has retired. What's happened there? What has happened to Luke Mills? Spun out of turn 1. Let's see if we can find his car. There it is. It's just standing there. I couldn't see whether it was broken or not. Which is standing there in the middle of the track. It's caused a safety car. It's bye-bye 2nd place for Team GRS, that's for sure. With Grothidum in 18th place, out of the points. A safety car potentially being a saving grace, but they'll need a miracle. And yes, that's potentially OP being screwed again, having they will be forced to double stack once more, since it's probably wise to come in right now, rather than after the safety car. So Daniel Gottschalk will lose positions, certainly. And potentially Team ABS might be screwed too. They're gonna try and make a gap. That would make perfect sense, 1.5 seconds. But of course, driving unnecessarily slowly isn't allowed. And Daniel Gottschalk stays very close to his teammate, actually. So I wonder what they're doing there. Tony Richet coming in. Daniel doing the same, but the camera gets confused. Of course, everybody's going to come in. Whoa! Nick Bovantra nearly collecting Daniel Gottschalk in there. And this is the moment that might potentially cost Team OP another 1-2. There we go. Wasn't that much of a delay, to be honest. But Yeah, where they're going to come out is not the position he wants to find himself in. It's not as bad as last week, let's be honest. P5 for Daniel Gottschalk as he exits the pit lane. Finds himself behind Dmitry Minic, who's had a glorious pit stop, finds himself in 4th. Where is Aaron Ramingus? He's had it even worse than Daniel Gottschalk, I'd say. No, actually, never mind. He was in 5th place already, of course. Gabriel Contino has had a brilliant pit stop, finds himself in 3rd. But the man coming out best of all is Janesh Dovjan, right behind one of his title rivals. But he needs his teammate, Justin Aerts, who's still got a long way to go. Nick got wing damage. Oh, dearie me. He finds himself in 9th place as well. He's had a horrible pit stop. The difference, yes, is 19 points between NLR and WOR. Right now, NLR, I don't know how many points they'll score exactly. I don't know how many points every position will be paying out. 3rd and 10th, though, I believe that's more than enough. But with Janesh in 2nd, I'm not sure it is. It's definitely still possible. The fight for 2nd place is definitely not over. And Janesh knows it. He's got a rival ahead and a rival behind. And the rival behind is closer in terms of points. But the question is, what would he rather be fighting? A fight for the title, which is nearly impossible right now. Or a fight to keep 2nd place away from NLR. Which is far more likely, especially with Evan in 10th place. Him being fast, he could potentially climb some more places after the safety cars come in. Evan needs a masterclass, yes. But we know he can do that. You see some cars coming in for a 2nd time. Guti Blind, Katailem. Katailem, of course, going for a fresh set of mediums. As they pitted already. Interestingly, Jezeba Solis has decided to stay out on those hard tires. Probably to save his track position. But he's going to be in the back foot for sure. Katailem going to the hards as well. I think both of them are thinking that by the end they'll be faster. Which of course could very well be true. But how many positions will they have lost and how far will they be behind? That's the big question. Or questions. Gabby overtaking Janesh is extremely important. That is very correct indeed. It could mean the difference between 2nd and 3rd. Both positions pay out a handsome prize. Of course, 2nd more than 3rd. So it will be a fight potentially to remember. Janesh is alone with Justin in last. Slowly trying to catch up to the field. With the safety car most likely coming in at the end of this lap. Or maybe not. It's already in the 3rd sector, the safety car is. And Justin is still not there. So it's going to stay out another lap. Meaning that the race will recommence at the start of lap 16. Also, I'm quite happy my voice is keeping up quite nicely. I've expected it to be far worse. Especially with how I've been feeling. Oh, there we go. Safety car in this lap. A very late call. Goodness me, that caught everybody off guard, I'd say. Especially myself. Tony Richet is now dictating the pace. Justin has connected and the safety car is coming in now. And he's already on his way. There we go. That was extremely quick. Lap 15 is where the race restarts. And here we go. Back on our way. Tony Richet has got a decent restart. Creating a small gap to Janesh Dovjan, but Janesh has got a good exit, and Tony Richet no longer is getting the help of his teammate, who finds himself in P5 due to the double stacking. And Janesh is getting ever closer. He needs that 1st place to make 2nd in the championship even more real for the team. But will it happen though? That's the big question. Dmitry Minic is edging closer to Gabriel Quintino. Not something the NLR driver needs. An ABS driver attacking from behind right there, potentially. Gabriel will need to show every ounce of pace he's got. Ivan Santamaria is still hanging in 10th position. He's also got an ABS car right behind him in 11th place. But look at this. It's Dmitry Minic edging ever closer. But so far, almost all cars have been driving him right behind one another, except for Katainen, who's been overtaken by Justin already. Timo Gertz going for a move on Joseba Solis, going up into 13th position. Joseba, of course, on the hard tires. Will be on the back foot for quite a few laps now. A very quick and unexpected restart sees Tony Richet retaining the lead. Janesh Dovjan holding on to second. Gabriel Coutinho for now in third position. And he's now edging closer to Janesh. But these cars are very, very close together. Daniel Gottschalk, of course, trying to get to his teammate as soon as he can. But there's quite a few cars in between himself and his teammate. 3 to be precise. No DRS just yet. Janesh has to hang on. Once the DRS gets activated, these fights might potentially become a lot more fierce. Janesh is staying out of the slipstream. He doesn't want to overtake here. Look at that, Dmitry Minic though. He does want to try, but he's getting attacked from behind right now. Daniel Gottschalk. I thought for a moment he went offensive, but instead he had to go defensive. As we see the OP driver, the second OP driver at the moment, who tried to overtake. That caused him to get a poor exit. Dmitry Minic got a much better exit, nearly attacking Gabriel Coutinho of third place. On the inside in turn 9. He's very brave to try it. Allowing Daniel Gottschalk to catch back up. There he is, once more. Aaron Raminges is still within that fight as well. René Klein, not too far behind either. A good result for TTM would mean the world for them in this final race of the season. Finding themselves in 7th and 12th. Tony Richet with the fastest lap of the race, trying to create a gap, and it's working out quite well. Gabriel Coutinho is losing connection to the top 2 as well. Janesh needs the DRS now. He's still within range. If he wasn't, it would have been a problem for him. Gabriel still within DRS range 2, but just barely. He's hanging on by a thread. Janesh, though, can keep the offensive going right now, thanks to the rear wing flipping open right there. René Klein fighting with Aaron, but look at that. Nick Monvantre fighting with Tom24, going in the chicane. Side by side. Can he hold on to the position? Tom, can he though? Just barely, but looks like Nick is getting a better exit. And he gets ahead right now. Up into 8th position he goes. In the meanwhile, at the front of the field, Janesh Dovjan challenging Tony Richet for the lead. Justin Arts moving up another position, up into 16th. He needs to go higher than that. He needs to score more points to keep NLR behind. Right now, I think second place is safe in their hands. Ivan is struggling to get past Tom. He's still in 10th place. Gabriel Coutinho can't get past Janesh. It's crucial that he does so. But he should also keep an eye on his rear view mirrors, because there is a certain man named Dmitry Minic on his debut challenging for a podium position from the back of the field. I think this is not a man that we should underestimate. Apologies about that one. When will the next attack take place here in the top 4? Dmitry getting closer and closer. He's gonna go for it. No, he just had a look, but he doesn't go for it. There we go. Ivan Santamaria is gonna go for a move, and Tom, yes, he does go for a move side by side in the chicane. He's getting pushed wide a little bit. Tom doesn't want him to get past. But now he's lost the toe to the car ahead. And there we go. Nico Viani's now going on the offensive as well. He has to go around the outside though, which is very difficult in turn 9. He has to stay behind, but that was bad news for Ivan, who wanted to go on the offensive, instead had to go slightly defensive against the car behind. Lap 19 will be starting soon. 11 laps to go. It's still anybody's game for the win. OP, of course, having lost their 1-2 due to a double-stacked pit stop. Daniel Gottschalk is hanging on to P5, just barely staying ahead of Aaron Raminges, is once again challenging an OP car, as he did at the start of this race. Here we go, once again, going on the first back straight. Who will be attacking who? There we go, Ivan Santamaria does get past Tom 24, who apparently has some issues. Making the overtake slightly easier, of course. That's unfortunate for Tom. And a free position for Ivan. Has he still got connection to the car ahead though? No, he hasn't. No DRS. That might be a problem for him. Nico Viani, of course, also getting past, getting very close once again to Ivan Santamaria. Let's hope that Tom will be able to rejoin soon. Justin Aerts fighting for the last points paying position with Carlson. And getting closer to Guti Belind. One extra point right now for WR, with Justin in P15. Tom has rejoined, fortunately. I think he'll be able to hang on to 12th place, but his AI has decided that he should come in. Oh, that will totally ruin his race. Oh, dearie me. That's the end of Tom's race, because the AI decided to pit on 6-lap or 7-lap old medium tires for some strange reason. Axon, meanwhile, fighting with René Klein. Trying to overtake him for P8. Allowing potentially for Ivan Santamaria to close the gap to within DRS range. Look at this then, side by side. That's how they will be when they go into the chicane. Good news for Ivan indeed. Whoa, they're still side by side. They kind of touch there, I believe. And Ivan has got DRS once more. That will help him defend from the car behind. In the meanwhile, we'll see a trend with Janesh Dovjan getting closer and closer to Tony Richet, but not going for the attack. I think he's going to wait until the very last lap, or the second to last lap, to go in for the move there. This fight is definitely not over, as René Klein is only the second driver to get a 3-second time penalty tonight. They're doing quite well in terms of penalties. Only René and Timo having those 3 seconds. And Timo is getting an additional 3 seconds, of course, due to the FIA. Still wonder what happened to Luke Mills. Probably lost control in turn 1. I don't think he was fighting with anybody. Let's see if we can find another fight. X is getting close to Aaron Raminges once again, but Aaron in his turn is also getting really close to Daniel Gottschalk. Can he try and hamper the OP driver there? We saw Dmitry Minich having to go a bit defensive, I believe, and there we go. As Daniel tried to attack the car ahead, Aaron was able to get past. Finds himself in 5th place, but Daniel got a better exit. He's going on the inside. Can he reclaim P5 from Aaron Raminges? Yes, he can. And to be fair, quite easily. There was Ivan Santamaria getting pushed a bit wide as he tried to attack René Klein for P8. And yes, Cormac CSS is no assist. It is indeed. Which makes this, of course, all the more impressive. I certainly wouldn't be able to do it. Lap 22 right now. We're getting closer to the finale of this final race of the season. Who will have it in them to win this race? I'd say right now anybody within the top 5, more or less, has got a shot at it. They're all very close together, but everybody until P10 is still within a second. Especially Axe is getting very close now. Actually ahead of Aaron Raminges, who had P5 for a moment, now finds himself in 7th all of a sudden. And Dimitri is going for a move nearly. Actually is going for a move on Gabriel Quintino, who finds himself side by side with the ADS driver all of a sudden. Has to fight hard. He's on the outside right now. There we go. Janesh Dovjan has lost positions all of a sudden. Finds himself in third position right now. What's going on all of a sudden? I think Janesh had some lag spikes. We saw a car teleporting back and forth. And that has caused Janesh Dovjan third position, which is a blessing for Gabriel Quintino, who is now in second place. Dimitri had a go on him. He was able to defend. Then Janesh came out of nowhere, falling behind. Lag indeed. There's no other explanation. We saw him teleporting. And now he's behind the NLR driver, which is bad news for WR indeed. It's one of the worst scenarios. His teammate is still in 14th. Ivan has probably smelled it as well, as he's approaching Aaron Ramingus with rapid speed right now. He's been reinvigorated to make up more places. He started in last, and he's now in P8. But he has to go more aggressive if he wants to get more points for the team. It's crucial that he gets up higher for the team. René Klein, in the meanwhile, fighting Nico Viani for 9th position. ABS doing quite well tonight, despite their qualifying bans. Unfortunately, I believe they'll still have to serve time penalties as well, which will definitely not help their campaign right now. And I think they're safe from FFC. We've only got one car in the points, in 7th place right now. Timo Gertz having to keep Justin Aerts behind right there. Justin Aerts knows that he has to push harder now. His teammate has fallen down to 3rd, and Gabriel, of course, has got no intention to give back that place. It's WR versus NLR for the final few laps for 2nd in the standings. Janesh needs to get past Gabriel. Justin needs to get past Timo and several other cars to get more points. Ivan Santamaria needs to find more positions as well, but he's got a tough one with Aaron Ramingus, who we know has got podium potential. It just hasn't been his race this time. Just like it was in Japan, where he disappeared. Gabriel Quintino now is even starting to challenge Tony Richer for the lead, which would be the crown upon their campaign to claim 2nd place. When will he go for the move? We're at lap 24 at the moment. As the lag continues on, there's certainly some issues right now with connection. Daniel Gottschalk, in the meanwhile, is now starting to challenge Janesh as he's gotten past Dimitri. We've missed that one, unfortunately. Dimitri is starting to fall back as Nick Bonventre is getting closer. Two 10-second penalties and a 5-second from last week, and Minich is taking it all. Poor man. First race for the team, taking all the penalties. Well, it would have been the same for Nico, of course, and I think it's wiser for one driver to take it all. So that at least one driver will finish in the points. But right now, I'd say that Nico probably should have taken it, but you never know that beforehand. They've already made the decision. I don't think they can change it. Janesh Dovjan is trying to come back at Gabriel. He's actually tried to fight it for real, and the chicane he goes out of nowhere. Janesh Dovjan, after losing his position due to lag, is fighting side by side with Gabriel Quintino. Daniel Gottschalk is mingling himself in the fight as well, but Gabriel is not backing down that easily. He is around the outside though. Can he hold on to the position, breaking later than Janesh? He can do it, but he has to yield. Deck down to 3rd position. Crucial move for Team WR. Janesh gets back into 2nd. Gabriel Quintino has to yield. Daniel Gottschalk bumps him actually. There might be some desync going on again. Looks like the lobby isn't entirely stable tonight. Well, that was a big move. A potential crucial move from Janesh Dovjan to get back in 2nd place. And look at that. Oh no! Where has Gabriel gone? He's away, he's gone! Spun out of the final corner, absolute disaster! And that is bye-bye second place for Team NLR. They came together, I'm not sure which cars came together. Looks like Gabriel was involved, that's for sure. Daniel Gottschalk's got involved as well. He's now down in 10th place. Suddenly Dimitri finds himself in the podium place and Janesh is now fighting for the win again. But it's game over for NLR for their second position in this championship. Ivan Santamaria has gone up to 4th, and look at that. Nick Bonventre without a front wing as well. Several cars have come together in the final corner. I'm not sure what happened, but there was a lot of chaos. You've missed something, that's for sure, Jack. I'm sure, yeah, probably Nick here, who's got no front wing. I think he might have been the one who has hit Gabriel Quintino. Not intentionally, of course. They were all fighting hard for positions. May have been contact on contact. Yeah, there were many cars involved in that incident. Ivan now finds himself in 3rd place, taking his teammate's position. But it will not be enough at the moment. 19 points in between themselves and WR. He needs to win the race with Janesh falling far behind. That's the most ideal situation, but that's probably not going to happen with 3 laps remaining. He needs an absolute miracle. WR's got that miracle. With Gabriel falling behind, but apparently not having enough damage to go for a new front wing. Hanging on to the position. P12 right now. Daniel Gottschalk getting back ahead of Axe, who's still driving around without a front wing. He's also going for track position then. Dimitri is going out for it again. And back up to 3rd he goes. Aaron Mings in the meanwhile fighting with the other ABS driver. Nico Viani will definitely jump up a position after Dimitri takes the whole household of penalties. This is interesting. If he can overtake Ivan Santamaria, he'll be the one finishing on the podium. Despite Dimitri having the better race. In the meanwhile, Janesh has taken the lead. We did miss that one. But it's not over yet. Tony Richet can still fight back. 2 laps to go. It's between these two for the win. Will OP lose the final race of the season? Will this be the crown for 2nd place for WR and beating their title rivals? But it's not going to be enough. OP is going to be champion right now. Unless both Daniel and Tony do not finish. And Justin finds himself in 2nd all of a sudden. Which is of course unlikely. Gabriel getting back into 10th with Axel Store of course not having that front wing. Tony Richet is getting closer to Dinesh Dovjan. He's not going to the move yet. I'd say right now he's got a good shot of taking it on the final lap, depending on how well his exits will be. Of course, these medium tires are pretty old already. He's getting closer all the while. Dimitri is trying to hold behind Ivan Santamaria. There's plenty of position changes. Axe is losing them all right now, of course. Carlson now up in 10th place. Gabriel Quintino finds himself in 14th. He's losing positions as well right now. Not entirely sure why. He found himself in 10th. We also see Guti Balint going slow. What on earth is going on here? Right on the outside. Oh my goodness. Nearly losing his car. Not sure what's happening, but Axe is fighting back without a front wing. And Gabriel looks to be absolutely furious. Oh no. And there we go. Timo Geurts out. I think Gabriel, I'm afraid to say, was very frustrated. And he's taken out Timo. It's the only way to say it, whether you like it or not. That made it even worse for Team NLR. Final lap of the race. We're watching the fight for the lead. Janesh now has to defend with everything he has. From Tony Richet. Who of these two will win the final race of the season? Through the chicane they go. Let's see then. Good exit from Tony Richet. Looks like he's got it, almost. But he's got the DRS. All the battery power is going to be drained right now. But Janesh's light was flashing. He has to go around the outside. Tony Richet gets ahead. Janesh, can he fight back through turn 9? He's pushing him, literally, through the corner. He's not giving up yet. He might just go for a move in turn 12. We've seen several drivers try it before, and Janesh definitely want to go for it as well. Ivan Santamaria in the meanwhile fighting for that final podium place. But it looks like Janesh cannot make the move happen. And Tony Richet reclaims the lead at the final moment it's possible. And he will win the final race. Janesh nearly had a go in the final corner, but decided not to risk it to save second place in the standings. They will get it. But OP, the champion of the PC division. Right there you have it. They've done it after a brilliant season. WR will be coming in second in the standings and the race. ABS with Dmitry Minic, a brilliant race. Unfortunately, with his penalties, will be falling very far behind, meaning that Ivan Santamaria will be finishing on the podium in third, Nico in fourth, Aaron in P5. The Drivers' Championship apparently is Janesh winning. Tony in second, alright. We do know there are some prizes for the individual drivers as well. And Janesh is the one to claim it. And there you have it. Confirming that Tony Richet has won the race. How was Ivan driver of the day? Probably because he drove from 19th to 4th. And that, according to the game, is driver of the day worthy. And there is something to say for that. However, I'd say that Dimitri is driver of the day. Simply because he is a new driver. Despite all the penalties. He has just gone for it. He will not be finishing in that position. But for me, he's the driver of the day. There's also something to say for Nico Viani as well. He just had a bit more trouble steering through the field. And then, of course, there was many incidents that happened at the final few laps of the race, causing Gabriel to finish out of the points. That's really unfortunate. Of course, I shouldn't forget to show this one. For the sake of the statistics. But there we have it then. Nico Viani will be finishing 4th, Aaron in P5, Baumatio in 6th, TTM Rene Klein in P7, Daniel Gottschalk in P8, Carlson in P9, Gotthardem in P10. I think that's because all of them will be gaining a position thanks to Minic's penalties. Very well then. It's over. We had a last gasp move from Tony Richet for the lead of the race. Janesh was just not able to pull it off, and that just shows OP's season. Throughout it all, they've done it. They just had a brilliant season all throughout. They are the deserved champions. WR will finish second in the standings. NLR will finish third. Of course, the standings I'm showing you right now are those from before this race. But I believe nothing will change here. ABS will not be able to overtake GRS for 4th because they would have needed to score 61 points, which they don't have for sure. FFC will not be overtaking ABS for 6th. GS and ERT were only 8 points in between them. I believe GS is quite safe from that, with Timo being taken out. At the end of the race, ETE will be finishing in 9th place, although I'm not 100% sure on that one. Maybe they might be able to take ERT because they scored quite decent points tonight. Actually, no, they didn't, because of course Nick Bonventre lost his front wing, and that caused lots of chaos and a lot of points for ETE as well. TTM, though, had a decent haul, can't deny that one. They had a very good last race, and that might be promising for next season, of course, depending on which teams will be getting in after qualifying night. Anyway. Normally I would be doing interviews, but I can feel my voice is not going to last much longer. So, also judging from the past interest in interviews, we've only been having a very few of them. So, I will be handing the microphone to your host, your big boss, the man himself, who's been organizing this all, the Competitive Speed Series. Ace will be doing the final words this season.
Yeah, hello everyone. Final results: OP winning in the end P2 and Laura P3 after the championship battle they've all had together. But I mean, chaos final race. What do you expect? It's Abu Dhabi as well. But I just want to thank everyone for the great season we've had. It's been chaotic behind the scenes, and it will be chaotic for next season as well. Hope to see everyone signing up for it, as we've already got 12 teams signed up for PC, which is a bit of a shock to me, to say the least. But just want to give my thanks to all commentators that have been here for the season. I know, Frost, you've done 9 out of the 10 races, and including the qualifying night as well, so 10 out of the 11. So overall, big thank you from myself to everyone who's been a driver, manager, whatever it's been, even viewing, doesn't matter. Thank you everyone, and hopefully we'll see you all next season. Have a good Christmas and a good New Year's for myself and the CSS admin team.
All right, thank you so much for those final few words. It's been an honor and a big pleasure to be able to commentate for this series. It's been a new way to commentate with, instead of individual driver championships, commentating for teams. It's been very interesting, very awesome to watch all of these quick drivers go for it, go for a shot at the title, with OP winning out in the end. It's been an honor, it's been a pleasure. I've been very happy to be able to join in here. I've been thoroughly enjoying all of these 10 races. Of course, only missed one of them due to me being on a holiday. So yeah, let's see what next year will bring. For now though, have yourself a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, wherever you are in the world. Make sure you make the most of it. Have a good end of year celebrations as well. A Happy New Year, a good 2024 to all of you watching and driving and organizing and commentating. Once again, it's been great to be here. See you next time for Season 3 of the Competitive Speed Series. For now, goodbye.